The moment you drove off that lot, the dealership's job was done. Your job, it just started. And here is the thing nobody tells you at delivery. There is a version of Hyundai ownership where you spend almost nothing on repairs, never get blindsided at the service counter, and keep that car running clean for 200,000 miles. And there is a version where you quietly bleed money on $249 services that cost $9 to do yourself, where you lose a warranty claim over a fluid change that was 3 weeks late, and where you replace a perfectly good brake part because nobody told you the actual problem was a $2 grease fitting. Both versions start with the exact same car. The difference is never the car. It is always the information. I have spent 12 years working on these vehicles. I have seen both versions play out hundreds of times. Today you are getting 10 things that the people who sold you your Hyundai will never bring up on their own. Some of these will save you money this week. Some will save you thousands over the next decade. And number 7, the one about your warranty. I need you to hear before your next service appointment, because that one has already cost owners I know more than they paid for their first vehicle. Stay through the whole thing. The last item ties everything together and changes how you think about every dealership interaction for the rest of the time you own this car. Let's go. Number 1. Your oil change interval is almost certainly wrong, and the dealer set it that way on purpose. Pull out your owner's manual and flip to the maintenance section. For most Hyundai engines, the manufacturer-specified oil change interval under normal driving conditions is 7,500 miles. Now look at what your dashboard says when that wrench light comes on. If you bought your car at a dealership, there is a better than average chance that light is set to trigger at 3,750 miles. Not because your car needs it at 3,750, because when the service tech plugged their diagnostic tablet into your car on delivery day, they set the reminder to severe service intervals every time. Almost automatically. Severe service is a real category. It applies to taxi drivers, people who idle for hours daily, people towing near maximum capacity, people who exclusively make sub-5-mile trips in freezing temperatures. It does not apply to the average person commuting to work on a suburban highway. Here is the math. The average Hyundai driver covers about 14,000 miles per year. At the correct 7,500-mile interval, that is 2 oil changes annually. At the 3,750-mile severe service setting, that is 4. At a dealer price of $89 per oil change, you are spending $356 per year instead of $178. Over 5 years, that is nearly $900 in completely unnecessary oil changes for a maintenance schedule your owner's manual does not actually require. The fix takes 30 seconds. Go into your instrument cluster settings, find the service reminder menu, and reset the interval to match what the manual specifies for your actual driving conditions. Do not let a blinking light on a dashboard you did not program make that decision for you. Number 2. That $249 fuel system service is a bottle of something that costs $9. Some version of this conversation happens in dealership service drives every single day. Your Hyundai is at 30,000 miles. We strongly recommend our premium fuel induction cleaning service to prevent carbon buildup. It is $229 today. Here is what that service actually is. A technician pours a bottle of Chevron Tecron into your gas tank and sprays throttle body cleaner into the intake for 60 seconds. That is the entire service. The bottle of Tecron at a gas station is $9. The can of throttle body cleaner is $6. The labor involved is 3 minutes. Now, carbon buildup is a real thing on Hyundai's gasoline direct injection engines. GDI technology bypasses the intake valves with the fuel spray, which means detergent in the gas never washes those valves the way older engines did. Carbon does eventually accumulate, but that accumulation does not happen in any meaningful way at 30,000 miles. The window where this actually matters is closer to 60,000 to 80,000 miles. And when that time comes, a $12 bottle of Turon in the tank every other fill-up is legitimate preventive maintenance. maintenance. What is not legitimate is paying $249 for it at 30,000 miles when your engine has never felt better in its life. Number 3. The cabin air filter job with a 433% markup. Let me describe a job that takes 60 seconds and requires exactly 0 tools. On virtually every Hyundai built in the last 10 years, the cabin air filter lives directly behind the glove box. Open the glove box. There are 2 small plastic tension tabs on the sides. Pinch them. Let the glove box drop forward past its normal range of motion, and the filter housing is right there. Slide out the old filter. Slide in the new one. Lift the glove box back up. Done. A quality cabin filter at any parts store costs between $12 and $18 depending on your model. A dealership cabin air filter service is priced between $79 and $110 at most Hyundai stores. Some go higher when they bundle it with what they call an air purification treatment, which is a spray can of antibacterial mist pumped through the vents for 30 seconds. That is a 433% markup on a part you can install yourself in the time it takes to read this paragraph. Change your cabin filter every 15,000 miles or every year, whichever comes first. Set a phone reminder right now. Never pay a dealership for this job again. Number 4. The tire pressure light is not telling you to spend money. Every October, millions of Hyundai owners look down at their dashboard and see the same thing. A small horseshoe shape with an exclamation point glowing amber. And every October, a meaningful percentage of those owners drive straight to the dealership. Here is what is actually happening. Cold air is denser than warm air. As outdoor temperatures drop in autumn, the air pressure inside your tires drops with it. Specifically, for every 10 degrees Fahrenheit of temperature decrease, tire pressure drops approximately 1 psi. A tire sitting comfortably at 35 psi in August may genuinely be at 30 psi by November without a single molecule of air having escaped through the rubber. Your TPMS light activates when pressure falls roughly 25% below the target. It is a safety threshold, not a precision reading, which means by the time that light appears, you were already running low for a while. The entire solution is a $12 digital tire gauge and 3 minutes of your time. Check the pressure on all 4 tires, add air at any gas station, and the light goes off on its own within a few miles of driving. No sensor replacement needed, no diagnostic fee, no dealer visit, just air. Keep that gauge in your center console. Check your tires on the 1st of every month. Seasonal pressure changes will never surprise you again. Number 5. The blind spot sensor your car wash is quietly destroying. The blind spot detection radar modules on most Hyundai models are mounted behind the rear bumper cover, one on each side. They are designed to handle rain and road spray. What they are not designed to handle is a sustained high-pressure water stream aimed directly at the rear wheel wells. Automatic car washes with undercarriage wash cycles, especially ones with side spray jets that blast the wheel arches, hit that exact zone with significant water pressure. Over time, water works into the electrical connectors at the back of those radar units. The pins corrode. The connection degrades. Your blind spot monitoring system starts throwing errors. The dashboard warning appears. Check blind spot safety system. You take it in. The diagnosis comes back as corrosion damage at the radar connector. And here is the part that will either save you or cost you. Corrosion is classified as environmental damage under Hyundai's bumper-to-bumper warranty. It is explicitly excluded. The repair runs $1,200 to $1,500 out of pocket. The prevention costs $4.15. Buy a tube of dielectric grease at any auto parts store. Locate the electrical connector going into the BSD sensor behind the rear bumper, accessible through the wheel arch. Unplug it, pack a small amount of dielectric grease into the connector housing and plug it back in. That grease creates a waterproof seal around the electrical pins. Do this once. It lasts for years. Number 6. The electronic parking brake has an emergency release and nobody shows you where it is. Modern Hyundais replace the traditional handbrake lever with an electronic parking brake switch. Clean, simple, space-saving, until the battery completely dies. When a Hyundai's 12-volt battery drops to critically low voltage, the electronic parking brake can lock in the engaged position with no electrical power to release it through normal means. The rear wheels are locked. The car cannot be safely loaded onto a flatbed tow truck without dragging it with locked rear wheels, which destroys tires and rear differential components. Hyundai includes an emergency manual release tool in every vehicle equipped with an electronic parking brake. Most owners have never seen it and would not recognize it if they did. Here is where to find it. Open the rear cargo area and lift the floor panel where a spare tire would sit. In the foam insert, there is a small plastic tool about 6 inches long with a narrow handle end and a hooked metal tip. It looks like a miniature fuel funnel with a bent metal probe. That is your parking brake release tool. Now find the access point in your center console, near the electronic parking brake switch itself, or inside the center console storage bin on some models. There is a small rectangular plastic cover roughly the size of a postage stamp, flush with the surrounding trim. It is not labeled. Pop it off with a fingernail or a flathead screwdriver. Behind it is a small access hole. Insert the hooked end of the tool, feel for the gear mechanism inside, and pull straight up with firm, steady pressure. You will feel a click and the rear brakes will release. After the battery is replaced and power is restored, press the brake pedal and hold the parking brake switch down for 3 seconds until the warning light confirms normal operation. Show this to everyone who drives your Hyundai. A situation where this knowledge is needed will not give you time to look it up. Number 7. Your lifetime powertrain warranty has a kill switch, and most owners trip it without knowing. Hyundai's lifetime powertrain warranty covers the engine, transmission, and drivetrain components for as long as you own the vehicle. In theory, that is an extraordinary benefit. In practice, it is built on a framework of conditions so specific that missing even one of them can terminate coverage permanently. The warranty requires documented, on-schedule maintenance performed by a licensed facility using fluids that meet Hyundai's specified standards. That documentation needs to exist in a form that can be verified. If the receipt is lost, if the service was performed at a shop that closed, if you changed the fluid yourself with no paperwork, the burden of proof falls entirely on you, and the intervals matter more than people realize. Missing a transmission fluid service even slightly outside the specified mileage window creates an opening for a warranty denial if that transmission later fails. The warranty team will review the service history. Gaps or late completions for any required service make the claim disputable. Here is what experienced Hyundai owners do. They keep every single service receipt in a physical folder in the glove box. They photograph each receipt and store it in a dedicated phone album. They use the same shop consistently so there is an unbroken service record at one location. They never assume that because nothing feels wrong, the warranty is secure. The warranty is only as secure as the documentation behind it. I have watched a $4,000 transmission claim get denied because a service was completed outside its window with no paper trail. Do not let it happen to you. Number 8. The brake job that costs $900 when it should cost $25. An owner brings a Hyundai in for routine inspection. The technician comes back with a clipboard and a concerned expression. Your rear brake caliper is seized. You are looking at $900 for replacement and labor. $900. And it gets approved because the owner does not know what a brake caliper actually is or what makes one seize. Here is the truth. The symptom that gets called a seized caliper on Hyundais is almost never an actual caliper failure. It is seized slide pins. Slide pins are the two threaded steel rods that the brake caliper floats on. They allow the caliper to move inward and outward as the brake pads wear. They are packed with high-temperature grease at the factory. Over time, that grease dries out, water works in, and the pins corrode inside their rubber boots. The caliper stops floating correctly. One pad wears faster than the other. The brakes feel uneven or create a dragging sensation. This is not a caliper failure. This is a slide pin that needs to be pulled, cleaned, and re-greased. The grease costs $8. The labor involved is about 20 minutes. Ask specifically whether the slide pins have been inspected and serviced before any caliper replacement is recommended. If the answer is yes and the caliper still needs replacement, the evidence should be visible. A cracked piston, a blown seal, hydraulic fluid weeping from the boot. Ask to see it. Legitimate shops will show you without hesitation. Number 9. The extended warranty you bought is probably refundable. If you financed a Hyundai in the last few years, there is a real chance you signed for an extended service contract somewhere in that stack of paperwork, a platinum wrap coverage or protection plan, for somewhere between $2,500 and $4,000. Here is what the finance manager did not mention. That contract is almost certainly cancelable. And if you cancel it in the early months of the loan, you receive a prorated refund applied directly to your principal balance. Here is the math. Take a $3,495 service contract financed at 6.5% over 72 months. Over the life of the loan, that contract costs you closer to $4,200 in actual dollars paid. Cancel it in month 4, you receive roughly $3,200 applied to principal. Your monthly payment stays the same, but you cut months off the back end of the loan and eliminate thousands of dollars in interest that would have accumulated over that time. The reason this is not volunteered to you is that finance managers earn a commission on these contracts, typically 40 to 50% of the profit margin. Most contracts have a chargeback window of 60 to 90 days where cancellation reverses their commission. Call the number on the contract paperwork directly, not the dealer, the warranty company itself. Tell them you want to cancel. They will send a form, you sign it, return it, and the refund is applied to the loan. No dealer approval needed. This is your money and your contract. Number 10. The biggest lie the dealership ever told you. Everything in this video, every overpriced service, every unnecessary repair, every voided warranty claim, all of it runs on the same fuel. One belief they need you to carry: that your Hyundai is too complicated for anyone but them to touch. The computers are too advanced. You need our proprietary diagnostic software. An independent shop might damage something they cannot fix. This is not a job for a regular mechanic. This is manufactured dependency, and it is extraordinarily profitable. A professional-grade scan tool that reads every code and performs every calibration your Hyundai needs costs under $500 at retail. The same tool that diagnoses ABS faults, programs new keys, calibrates safety cameras, and reads live transmission data. Shops across the country own versions of this tool. The idea that Hyundai diagnostics require dealer-exclusive equipment stopped being accurate several years ago. Federal law, specifically the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, explicitly protects your right to have your vehicle serviced at any qualified repair facility without voiding your warranty, provided the work meets the manufacturer's specifications and is documented. A dealer who tells you that taking your car to an independent shop voids your coverage is either mistaken or not being truthful with you. Use the dealership for what it is genuinely good for: warranty work, recall services, and software updates that require manufacturer-level authentication. For everything else, fluid changes, brake service, filters, diagnostic checks, an independent shop with the right equipment will do the same job for significantly less, sometimes half the price, sometimes less than that. Your car is not a spaceship. It is an exceptionally well-engineered vehicle that any competent technician with the right tools can service. The moment you internalize that, every future interaction with a service drive becomes a completely different conversation. You are no longer dependent. You are a customer with options. And that is exactly the position you want to be in. If this changed how you think about owning your Hyundai, share it with someone who drives one. Subscribe for more of this every week. Buying guides, hidden features, real maintenance timelines, and the conversations that the service drive will never start on its own.